welcome back. Thanks for being here. We're still reading Black Marxism, part 3, Black Radicalism and Marxist Theory, chapter 9, the historiography and the Black Radical Tradition, which is like DuBois. But someone left a very important comment and made me think about the way that I was making these videos. So, primarily, my first initial thought was, read the book first and then do the discussions. So I've been typing my discussions to be like, okay, who, what, where, why, how? What is this telling me? I use like you know how in like the intro will tell you this is the chapter 1, whatever, like the X, Y, and Z. This is what the chapter 1 is trying to convey. Here's what chapter 2 is trying to convey. And then so if you look at the book, you'll see how like it's divided in sections, and it'll have like this in bold. Like just putting it, like making a summary, like putting in information, like here's what it's trying, like this is what it's saying. So I've been doing that. It's on my computer. Remember, my computer's on the ground, and I was like, I'll just do the videos after. But I should have been doing chapter video, or like whatever passages I read that day, and then that discussion. I should have been doing that. So thank you to the person that commented that. But so I will be doing that for the next book, because I'm almost done with because I don't, you know what I mean? Like I'm still typing, so I'm like, because I didn't do that initially, I'm still typing and I have it as a rough draft, so I need to look it over just to make sure it doesn't sound like dumb. But yeah, so I will be doing that for the next book. But for this book, I'll finish reading, or if I might just finish reading chapter 9, this is chapter 9, because next is C.L.R. James. And then next is Richard Wright. Richard Wright's a little bit shorter. C.L.R. James is a little bit longer. And then, but we're almost done. Let me show you how much, I lost my place. The ending of the book is so good too. I love it. This is how much you gotta get done. So I was thinking finish chapter 10 or chapter 9, and then start doing the discussions, and then I would put that on a different playlist, Black Marxism discussions, if you still want to listen to me read the book. Or you can like listen to it on like Spotify, Libby, like stuff like that, because yeah, sometimes when I read, I do get distracted. I do. I'm not gonna listen. So if you want to read it, like listen to it with someone that's like doing it professionally, that won't go off on tangents like I do. There are other places to look, and I think there are videos on YouTube of people reading the book as well. But I'll put a different playlist of Black Marxism discussions, because these are the videos I would also want to post on. You know what? That's what. Period. And then notes. So almost done with the notes that I take, because when I read a book, I have to write down the notes like physically, you know, because that's how I'm like, okay, I understand. I'm almost done with that. I'm almost done scanning. It just takes a little bit of time, y'all. Listen, this is how I write my notes, but then I'm gonna I'll also post the notes and then the type discussions together. So it's like, here's what it's getting at. Here, you know what I mean? Because that's what helps me when I'm like trying to understand. Because when I first read the book, I didn't do it this way. Girl, I was having school, life, right. But that person's comment made me think about that, and I was like, I should have done it that way. So thank you. And then thank you for sitting through this 4-minute intro and information session. Okay. And then next, the book. So now we're on DuBois, Marx, and Marxism. Oh my god, I should have taken a drink of water. I'm a little stuffy. Beforehand. Anyways, how's your day? How was your holidays? I hope you had a good time with your family. What I did. I spent time with my family, and I read about Black Revolt on Thanksgiving. Just a little bit, not too much. And I got some new books from my grandfather. Oh, sorry, another tangent. I am my grandparents' grandchild, and I got books from my nana. That plant, the spider plant, is a little baby from my nana's plant. One, I have a lot, but for my grandfather, I got W.E.B. Du Bois' Biography of Race by David Levering Lewis. And it has pictures in it. Whoa. Okay, cool. Gotta be careful. Tar Baby by Toni Morrison. Currently, I'm reading Beloved. I read it for a class, but I had it on. I can't read the best one. I mean, I can read. I just hate reading a book on my device. I like having a physical book that I can write in, that I can hold in my hand. And the person that wrote, I got this from like those like little, where you put your books in so people can take it, that little bookshelf thing, and you can just trade your books in. So the person before me, they had a lot of books, and not a lot, a good handful, excuse me, but they wrote in it too. And I love reading other people's writings as well. So cute. This is from my nona. Stone Power. Also from my nana has two, so I think this one's my grandfather's, and I think the other one that I have that's this book is my nana's, because that one says her name. Maya Angelou, Singin', Swingin', and Getting Merry Like Christmas. This is from my grandfather. America, Past and Present, and it has like pictures, all that cool stuff. Anyways, sorry for that. I just like to talk. Put these back. Oh, and I'm also reading A Black Woman's History of the United States, because I finished a couple books. I almost finished this one. I just have to finish the notes and then the discussions, but it's a long book, and sometimes it gets a little boring. I'm not gonna lie, when they talk about some stuff. When it gets a lot, but I keep going. Not like boring. It's just like, when it's a lot of words and you're kind of like, what? And you have to write it down and like look up the words, blah, 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 blah. Not boring. It's just taxing, but it's also a lot of fun. I like the nitty gritty, but sometimes it's like, girl, how long is this book again? But it's fun at the same time. Like, don't get me wrong. I've read this, it's a book, all books, but it's also when I get to put the colors in, that's what makes it fun. That's why there's a lot of colors all throughout the book. Yes. That's why I like having books too, because then it's like, I get to write it in. So we shall start. Sorry about that. Anyways, Du Bois, Marx, and Marxism. There is, however, a final aspect of significance in Black Reconstruction that demands close attention. I really want that book, but currently I have a lot of books, so I can't get the book yet. From this vantage point of a Black radical historiography, Du Bois was one of the first American theorists to sympathetically confront Marxist thought in critical and independent terms. Undaunted by the political and personal concerns of Blacks in the American Communist Party, which frequently manifested themselves as a search for ideological orthodoxy, which is like the ideological beliefs, like certain beliefs that ground, in their work and writings. Du Bois had little reason or awareness for cautiously threading an ideological position between Rutherford, Lovestone, and Foster in CPUSA, the Communist Party of America, or Trotsky, Bukharin, and Stalin in the Communist International. As such, he could attempt to come to terms with Marx himself, unmediated by Lenin or the emerging doctrines to be known as Marxist Leninism. Okay. Nope, never mind. As in doing so, he was articulating in theoretical terms the intersections. Put a little highlight. Wait, I want my other pen. I like using this pen to write, mainly to write in like these types of books. But this pen for notes. Oh, I love that pen. The intersections between the Black radical tradition. Wait, let me just. My lines aren't straight. So I'm doing this on my bed. Okay. And in doing so, he was articulating in theoretical terms the intersections between the Black radical tradition and historical materialism only vaguely hinted at in the formal organizations of the time. Wait, let's look up historical materialism. I have concepts of a plan. I have an idea of what that means, but I want to be sure. Historical, this is on Wikipedia. I'm looking at Wikipedia first, and then I'm going to keep looking. Historical materialism is Karl Marx's theory of history. Marx located historical change in the rise of class societies and the ways human labor together to make their... Oh, and the way human labor... Sorry. And the way human labor together to make their livelihoods. Stated that technological development can change the modes of production over time. This change in mode of production inevitably encourages changes to a society's economic system. Okay, that's not... Okay, main idea. The main idea of historical materialism is that a society's economic organization determines its social institutions, and that social and political change occurs when these institutions no longer reflect the modes of production. Okay, and the theory is based on the idea that class conflict is inevitable and arises from changing modes of economic production. Believe that history would end in communism when the proletariat helped to end class conflict. Here are some key ideas of historical materialism. Mode of production. A society's mode of production is how it organizes itself economically. But don't you also look at the social structures of like race, like sex, religion, gender, location? Okay, let's keep going. Class conflict. Historical development can be understood through the notion of class conflict. Dialectical materialism. The theory is rooted in the idea that all things develop through material contradictions. Labor. Labor is the expression of human life and changes a person's relationship to nature. Technological development. Okay. I'm going to write this down, actually, but not right now. What is historical materialism? The way in which societies provide for their material needs, conditions... the way in which society provides for their material... Sorry, I'm, like, reading off of, like, this thing. It's, like, really small. The way in which societies provide for their material needs and blurry needs conditions the totality of social relations, institutions, and ideas. Human labor is the foundation of society. We must focus on the material activity of humans. Okay, screenshot. History that explains human society and development through the lens of economic activity. Social and political change. Okay, screenshot. Sorry, I'm going to write this down in notes because that's important. Examples. Feudalism involves peasants working agricultural lands for a lord. According to Marx and Engels, capitalism was able to emerge from feudalism in large part because of increasing trade, which led to the development of the merchant class. The merchant class became an increasing powerful group in feudal time. Why is it wrong? The theory of historical materialism has also been charged with being overly simplistic and reductionist. This is often referred to as technological determinism by those who say so. Opponents argue that it's simply not true that the modes of production by itself determines the institutional structures of every society. Oh, so you have to look at other things. Okay, per. I'm screenshotting so I can write this down later. Okay. Okay. According to Marx, the material conditions of human life include, most importantly, the forces of production and their relations to production. That is, I don't think that's the most important. Maybe I need to read it more before I start disagreeing with stuff. The primary social activity of human beings is production through labor. Okay, per. Just wanted to make sure. But I will write this down. Oh. La 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 la. Where we at? Okay. I'll restate the sentence that I just read and then keep going because we did go off on a tangent. And in so doing, he was articulating in theoretical terms the intersections between the Black radical tradition and historical materialism only vaguely hinted at in the formal organizations of the time. It was in those then in irreconcilable roles, as a Black radical thinker and as a sympathetic critic of Marx, that DuBois was to make some of his most important contributions concerning Black social movements. However, unless we continue to evoke a consciousness of the historical moment in which DuBois was working, we have little chance of recognizing the nature of the thought to which he addressed himself in Black Reconstruction. So now we're going into what was going on during that time. Since its inception, Marxism was meant to Since its inception, Marx has meant to some a critical scientific system, a way of understanding, comprehending, and affecting history. The way in which Trotsky expressed his own excitement about Marxism underscores this point. The important thing is to see clearly. One can say of communism, above all, that it gives more clarity. We must liberate man from all that prevents him from seeing. That's the quote. The history of Marxist thought and Marxist organizations, however, has been more ambiguous. Concomitant with this presumed clarity, this way of seeing, was the emergence of its corrosives, its oppositions. The nature of change argued in Marxism, the dialectic. Okay, so I want to, in my notes that I wrote, I want to make sure I underline it. The dialectic, the nature of change. Chapter 9. The nature of change, right there. I didn't highlight this part. Argued in Marxism, the nature of change, the dialectic. I'll write it up top too. And highlight the nature of change argued in Marxism, the dialectic would lead to one to anticipate just per critical to see clearly. Okay, the nature of change argued in Marxism, the dialectic, I said that right, would lead one to anticipate just such oppositions to occur in Marxism, specifically with the appearances of political dogma, historical certainty, and the epistemological variations, like the you study like the origins of thought. So there's like different variations. Okay, of empiricism. Okay, that was mainly for me. I was like, wait, what is that telling me? And epistemological variations on emerging empiricism. The history of Marxist thinkers has confirmed this expectation. This is not merely a question of distinguishing the true Marxists, that is, the founders, Marx and Engels, from their less gifted epongi. Those are people that are followers. People that like follow the philosophy. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I said that right. EPIGONI. Nope, I did not say that right. Ooh. Inferior imitator pronunciation.
Epigony.
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 Epigony. Epigony.
Epigony.
Epigony.
Epigony. People that follow. It is not an intellectual. It is not an intellectual or theoretical problem. Dogma, certainty, and facility. Did I write that down? No, I didn't. I thought I did. Factility. No, I said that wrong. Facticity, like stating something as fact. The quality of
facticity.
Facticity, the quality or condition of being a fact. Girl, why did I not write that down? Well, this is what I do when I write down a definition typically. So you'll see it when I post the notes. I need to do that soon though. Oh my god, I found out. I was wondering, okay, this whole entire summer, I was like wondering why I felt like mind boggled, like when I don't take my ADHD medicine. I found out that I was accidentally canceling out my ADHD medicine. I was drinking a juice that said 100% vitamin C. Girl, I don't know. I was so annoyed because I was like, I'm trying to get this done, like this project done. And I was like having days where I was like, oh my gosh. So I just read and did my notes instead of doing like all the other stuff. Or condition of being fact. Why did I write that like that? And then let me write dogma down too. But yeah, so I felt a little bit dumb. But yeah, I write in pink pen. Where'd it go? Oh, pink pen for the word, and then blue pen for the definition, to be able to find it quickly. I do this for all of my notes whenever I needed like a definition, or like for like psychology, whatever, you'd have to like put a definition. Principle. Did I write this wrong? No, I did not. I know how to spell. I asked for a dictionary for Christmas. Or set and a thesaurus of principles laid down by an authority as incontrovertibly true. Okay, Dogma, certainty, and facticity are social and political phenomena. In Marxism, they have emerged out of the context of specific organizational demands and definite collective and individual needs framed by particular historical and political dynamics. To me, that is stating, wait, should I just keep reading? What that's saying to me is that Marxism is emerging out of a worldview, the Western worldview, that has certain truths to it, dogma, facticity to it. So that's the context of where Marx is coming from a European Western ideology. So it's more likely, yeah, because like the West is like individualism, capitalism, white supremacy, like Anglo-Saxonism, where it's like those ideals have things like manifest destiny, emotional repression, rugged individualism or individualism, like stuff like that. So yeah, that what that sentence is saying is that dogma, certainty, and facticity are social and political phenomena emerging out of the Western context, and that's where Marxism is also framed as. But maybe I'm wrong. No, that's okay. Listen, we'll just keep going. Maybe if I come back and I'm like, oh wait, when I do the discussion and I'm wrong, I'll update my thought. And it was with respect to these phenomena as they had manifested themselves in the American Communist Party organization in the late 1920s and early 1930s that DuBois focused his work on revolutionary theory. To understand the significance to Marxist thought of what DuBois was doing it is only necessary to recall that the American Communist Party in the 1930s was situated in the most advanced capitalist society in the world. Consequently, it was soon to be the second most important communist party in the world, displacing the German movement but behind the Bolsheviks. To Marxist communists, the historical role of the CPUSA has been determined by the principles of Leninism. And then those two ... It was the vanguard of the most advanced proletarian movement. It was this, oh my goodness, girl, where's my pen? No. Oh. It was this party's ideological dogma. It was this party's ideological dogma, its existential creed, and theoretical orthodoxy as they related to blacks that compelled Du Bois to the reassessment of Marx. The First World War in the 20th century is a watershed for those events that directly influenced the special character of the American Communist movement and the party's policies towards blacks. It was during the war, or because of the war, or the aftermath of the war that these events occurred. First, there was the transformation of international socialism. The Comintern succeeded the Second International as the leading force of the socialist movement. Second, in the United States, a black immigration from the South resulted in the formation of northern urban black communities and the Great Migration communities, and subsequently a new form of racial consciousness, black nationalism. Third, so these three events, the first, second, and third, these are the three events in which Du Bois is operating from for his black reconstruction. Third, beginning almost simultaneously with the formation of the American Party, there was the intercession of the Comintern, Lenin, and then Stalin on the Negro question. These were the critical events. It is necessary now to look into them in more detail. Okay, we're at 20 minutes plus my 30. Okay, I'll stop here and then just keep recording after. Thanks for listening.